We're here today with one of Vicksburg's finest teachers, Mr. Ouellette. Unlike most interviews, we're here to see what's below the surface and get a sneak peek to see what happens in and outside of school. What drew you to teaching English?
Like a lot of English teachers, I had a special teacher when I was in high school, and I just liked the way he showed us to see the world and the things he taught us to think about, and I kind of wanted to be like him.
Looking back on your 28 years of teaching, what are you most proud of, and what advice would you give to your younger self?
I'm probably most proud of my students. It's been, I don't know, thousands of students now, and they're doing amazing things. And when I see them in the world and I catch up with them, I'm proud of them. They do incredible things.
What is your creative process for writing and arranging songs, and how do you incorporate your personal experiences and influences into your music?
So my band writes a lot of original music. Our sixth album is coming out in a couple months of basically all original music. And when we write, there's generally three of us that do the writing, and most people expect that I write the lyrics, but I write almost none of the lyrics. I write a lot of the music, and kind of my specialty is arranging how the sections of the songs come together. So I might have a chord progression that I've been playing around with on guitar, and another guy comes in with some lyrics, and we sort of see what fits together, and it sort of evolves into a song from there.
Who are some of your biggest musical influences, and how have you shaped your playing style and songwriting?
As a guitar player, most of my influences come from blues players. B.B. King and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Robert Johnson, and it's way too long of a list to mention everybody. As a songwriter, I have a lot more contemporary influences. Probably my biggest influence right now is a guy named Jason Isbell. I think he's the best songwriter going right now. But a lot of the traditional like 60s, 70s, 80s country writers are important to me. People like Willie Nelson and some more obscure people like Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt, some others like that.
What do you enjoy most about performing live, and how do you connect with the audience during your shows?
Yeah. That's what I love the best is, there's two parts. I love the interaction with the audience. I love the energy that we get from the audience, kind of giving back the energy we put out and getting that back. And on a good night, that energy cycles back and forth, and that's exciting. But then also, on a night when there's hardly anybody in the audience, the interaction with the guys in the band, and we do the same thing. We feed off of each other, we play off of each other, and a lot of our music is written, but it's improvisational at the same time. And so it's that interaction with the guys in the band and the interaction with the audience that I love the most.
What gear do you currently use, and how do you achieve your signature sound?
I'm very fortunate to have very good gear. I've got a lot of vintage instruments, a lot of vintage guitars and amplifiers from all the way back to the 1930s, some things from the 40s and the 50s. My number one guitar is a 1957 Gibson guitar made in Kalamazoo, a dream guitar I never thought I could have. And I was able to, I buy my instruments with the money I make playing. So I sort of set that aside from the household budget, and they pay for themselves. And so I'm very lucky, and I love the vintage gear. That's kind of the sound I go for.
What are your future plans for the Out of Favor Boys? And are there any specific musical projects or goals you're working towards?
We're finishing up our 6th studio CD right now. It's being mixed by our producer in Chicago. We'll probably release it probably mid-February. We'll have a big party for that and have some guest musicians who played on the record, and we'll have a big show then. And then next summer we'll be sort of supporting that with our shows. We want to keep doing this. We want to keep writing and playing together. We just went past 21 years together as a band, and there's some talk about in retirement, a couple of us even finding some younger musicians and maybe spending some time touring Europe.
What advice would you have for young musicians who are passionate about the blues and jazz genres, and how can they develop their skills and pursue their musical dreams?
The best advice I have for young musicians is to play with other musicians, especially blues. Blues is an interactive art form, and it's not so much about skills and about being a perfect musician. It's about emoting, about the emotion, feeling it, and expressing yourself emotionally through your instrument. And playing with other musicians really can help feed that.
You once were in a band with Mr. Lindemann and other teachers at an early point in your teaching career.
Yeah.
What led to the breakup, and do you think there's ever a possibility of a reunion show?
Well, Mr. Lindemann is, while he is an excellent musician, he's a difficult person to work with. The band played a few times, and there were musical differences, and we just decided that we had to part ways. I'm kidding. No, we had a good time. And I would absolutely be open to having a reunion show. I don't know what other musicians still in the building could be part of the band, but when Lindemann's ready, I'm ready too.
All right, thank you so much. I'm so happy we could have this interview together. Thank you.
Thanks.
A big thanks to Mr. Ouellette for taking the time to share his experience as an English teacher here at Vicksburg High School, and much more. We truly appreciate your dedication, and we wish you the best both in your classroom and your music career.
Had to take that leap, all my chances were given.